Uh, Thank you all. It's a beautiful Friday morning and pretty close to Dashera, and we have, uh, quite a few senior people who have taken off quite a bit of their time. It is so nice that they could make it to the program. So we'll formally start the program. If I could request all of you to stand up for the Tamil Thari Varth. I would like to invite the dignitaries onto the stage. I would like to invite our Honourable Minister for Industries and Transport, Tamil Nadu, Thiru Thangamani sir, and Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy to escort him to Director IIT Madras. I would like to invite Dr. Anup Pujari, Secretary MSME, to please Mr. Venu Srinivasan and Mr. Sankar. Last. Thank you all. The Visionary Leaders for Manufacturing program is a very interesting program. We've had this going for about 9 years, and the idea is to look at the manufacturing spectrum and actually feed on to the leadership pipeline in the future. And there's been a great support at the state level and at the central level for the Visionary Leaders for Manufacturing program. It's an honor that our minister could take from his busy schedule. In fact, he is in Chennai only for this today, and he came in last evening, and he's again going back out of town this afternoon after the program. So it's a pleasure that he could make and bless us with us. Dr. Pujari from Delhi, Mr. Srinivasan from his busy schedule, and Mr. Shankar too. I would like to request our Director, Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy, to welcome the audience.
Thank you, Venkatesh, and a very good morning to all of you. And a special welcome to our most honorable guest, Mr. Thangamani, the Minister for Industry and Transport, Government of Tamil Nadu. Doyen of Tamil Nadu and Indian industry, Mr. Venu Srinivasan. Dr. Anup Pujari, Secretary MSME, Government of India, and Mr. C.V. Shankar, Secretary Industry, Government of Tamil Nadu. Also dignitaries in the audience. I can see several leaders of industry. I can see budding leaders of industry, faculty, and others, students. Thank you very much for coming here. On behalf of the Institute, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this event today. We became a partner along with IIM Kolkata and IIT Kanpur in this visionary leadership in manufacturing program 8 or 9 years ago. And I remember I was as dean at that time, and I was involved partly in the birth of this program, and I was worried how we run a program involving 3 institutions spread out all over the country, and also somewhat unusual program at that, how it would turn out, but it has turned out very well. The almost 2,000 graduates, and by all accounts, the program has been great success, supported by CII, and of course by the great guru, Mr. Shoji Shiba from Japan. And the students have also had great opportunities to visit Japanese industry. And I think the program has been very successful, and there's been a lot of discussion in Delhi and both in the ministry as well as with CII on how to scale this program. And in these 9 years, other technologies have come a long way. And not only in this VLFM program, but in many other core engineering programs, our institute is now launching on a large-scale live online education program for professionals in industry. This will lead to not only, professionals could take individual courses and get certified, but certain baskets of courses that fit into an approved academic curriculum will also make them eligible for degrees in Master of Technology and potentially in leadership in manufacturing also, in management also. So we will be launching that in the later half of this academic year, definitely in the early part of 2016. And there's been a lot of interest from industry. This will enable professionals to carry on with their work. They don't have to take leave or quit their jobs. They can continue at their gaining experience. At the same time, in the evenings, they can take these courses. There will be a face-to-face component also wherever needed on the weekends and so on. So it's a way by which we can leverage today's technological capabilities of very high-speed bandwidth, internet connectivity, live interaction, two-way interaction from multiple locations, and enable professionals to equip themselves with higher degrees and deeper knowledge and skills, even while they continue with their ongoing career responsibilities. So we are expecting programs like these to graduate in a much larger way, to a bigger scale, through the use of such technology. So with these few words, I'd like to once again welcome all of you, in particular our most honorable guests, to this function. And I hope you have a very productive day today in the 2 themes that are going to be discussed after this inaugural function. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bhaskar, for the kind words and welcoming all the audience. I would like to invite Dr. Anup Pujari, Secretary MSME, to say a few words and
Good morning, everybody. I am particularly pleased to be here in the IIT Chennai, and I must also disclose what made me happier. Last evening, Professor Venkatesh has told me that this is the program, and I was looking forward to being with you the whole of the forenoon, but I thought part of the time I'll sit in front. So I was surprised to be sitting here, but I must also disclose with you what made me really, really happy. I was told that the director is not sacrificing his teaching load today because of this. This is the most creditable thing, because very often most of us neglect our first calling. The first calling of a teacher is to teach, and that is something, and in fact in the morning I congratulated him by saying that this is a very nice gesture on your part, that no matter what, you will not miss your teaching. How I wish each one of us follow this in our life, that whatever is our most important work, or whatever is the reason for which I paid for, we do not neglect that no matter what. With this, I suppose each one of you will be a leader of industry someday. I want each one of you also to be a leader of society. I'll stop here because there would be something more to share with you in the second session. I'm thankful again, and especially Honourable Minister who has been able to come And this is one thing yesterday when I met all representatives of small, medium, and micro enterprises. One of the questions that was asked to me is, what is happening to the state government vis-a-vis government of India? My answer was that we are equal partners in development. The MSME Development Act is a central act, but this gets implemented with full cooperation from the state government. We do not distinguish between an officer of the state government and officer of government of India, because we are all for the same mission that there must be growth of industries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pujari, for the kind words. I'll like to request our Director Bhaskar, Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy, to give a memento and in appreciation for Dr. Pujari. All of you can hear a much detailed talk by Dr. Pujari in the second meeting that we'll be having after this meeting. I would like to invite Mr. Shankar, C.V. Shankar, the Industry Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu.
Honourable Minister for Industries and Transport and other dignitaries on the dais. It is indeed a privilege always to come to IIT, such sylvan surroundings, and the Honourable Minister was asking me as to how many visits I would have come here before. We have always been living in Adyar, right, for the last 40 years or so. So IIT is almost like a backyard for us. It's always nice to come here in this ambience. And the program which has been organized here, I think it's a very important program for India as a whole. The leadership in manufacturing, of course, Mr. Venu, Srinivasan and other leaders are here. So we have seen what kind of a significant contribution a visionary leader can make in terms of development of the local areas, development of infrastructure and so on. Honourable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, when she came to power in the first round, she had evolved certain policies to attract major industries. We always were very strong in automobiles and auto components. TVS, Rane, Ashok Leyland, many other companies were already there. But a significant shift in terms of international level manufacturing came about when a very, very attractive policy was laid out for the automobile sector. Ford was the first company which came in. And some people are really surprised when we look at some of the concessions which were offered at that time. The government was giving subsidy on power and it worked out. It spent a lot of money on infrastructure. In fact, desilting of tank, all kinds of stuff was done to enable Ford to start its manufacturing activities here at that time. That was followed by Hyundai and many other companies. We see now Tamil Nadu is rightly called the automobile hub. Detroit of course, Detroit is no longer considered the great place for automobiles, but still we feel that the automobile, the development of the automobile and auto components industry in Tamil Nadu is now a well-established story. There is no need for any of us to repeat that. And subsequently, we came up with policies for the electronic manufacturing. We had many big companies coming in, Dell, Flextronics. Of course, one bad example was Nokia. Other companies came forward in big numbers. And we have been seeing a very consistent vision. The Vision 2023 document was unveiled by our Honourable Chief Minister in 2012, which with a very, very basic and important thrust on infrastructure, about $250 billion of investment, about 70% of it in power and important sectors, roads. These are important for any kind of industry to flourish. 84 of these projects, 217 projects were identified under Vision 2023, and 84 of these projects are already operational. Yesterday, a couple of days back, when Professor Venkatesh Balasubramaniam was asking us about whether the Honourable Minister would come, whether you would come, whether the other dignitaries would come, I told him one thing: Tamil Nadu, we take these things very, very seriously. If Honourable Minister has given his time, it's 100% sure that he will be here. So likewise, if I have given the time, you can rest assured I'll be here. So the same kind of professional work culture is ingrained in the state, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why the recent Global Investor Meet which we had was a resounding success. We had a target of about 100,000 crore, about $16 billion, but at the end of it, we got commitments worth about 242,000 crores. That's about $42 billion. So this will be rolled out over a period of time, 3, 4, 5 years time, and we do expect that programs like this, VLM, etc., would provide us the leadership and the people to take these programs and bring them to fruition. I thank IIT for the opportunity that has been given. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Shankar, and it is in fact very resounding that what he really said. If the government, Tamil Nadu government gives a commitment, we stick to it. We don't waver from it. It is very good. I would like to request our director, Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy, to give a small memento of appreciation. Again, you will all get to hear in detail Mr. Shankar's talk in the second meeting that we will be having today. I would like to invite Mr. Venu Srinivasan, the chairman of TVS Motors, and Sundaram Clayton. Besides that role, he is also one of the key instigator and the reason why we are all here. In fact, he wanted all to have a good meeting. I'd like to.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Balasubramaniam. Our chief guest today, Honourable Minister Thiru Thangamani, Minister for Transport and Industry, Government of Tamil Nadu. While I mentioned his name, I think I need to mention that I think one of the most successful promotions of a state through the Global Investors Meet took place in Chennai, really under his leadership and with the able support of Mr. Shankar. I think it was really in Tamil Nadu, certainly one of the greatest shows promoting, showcasing Tamil Nadu to global investors, and all the effort that went into it to go to different countries, meet industry bodies, meet local governments, and sell the state. Because today, as Mr. Pujari rightly said, what is the state's role? It is a state competition between the states that the center is actually fostering to get manufacturing going. It's ultimately those states which try harder and work harder to make it attractive and provide a competitive environment. Those states will race ahead of other states. And therefore, this is a very important element of this new government in Delhi, is creating this competition among states. Mr. Anup Pujari, who is a very good friend of mine, is a great supporter of industry. He has seen trade, commerce, industry, has had a vast experience. Mr. Shankar, the Industry Secretary of our state, and Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy, our host. I think the most important thing in manufacturing is employment. I think I do not want to talk about manufacturing on the economic benefit to the country and to the current account surplus. But what we really need and what we have missed for almost 8 or 9 years now is serious growth in employment in manufacturing. We have had low levels of growth and jobless growth. We need to provide over 5 years at least 80 million jobs. And we said that 5 years ago. And a lot of these people today have been absorbed in the informal sector, either underemployed or unemployed. Therefore, the most important issue why manufacturing is important to this country is employment. You cannot create prosperity, you cannot create a cohesive society if you do not create employment. And therefore, the most important thing we need for employment is a competitive environment. Competitive in terms of infrastructure, transportation, logistics, cost of power, cost of money, and labor laws that support manufacturing and modern manufacturing. I think these are the issues that are in front of us. What we can do from industry, and that is my role here today, is as the chairman of the VLFM initiative in CII, is we can help to skill managers and skill labor. I think industry can certainly play a substantial part in that area. And our hope, and I hope it's more than a hope, our plan, in 5 years is to increase the number of people coming out of VLFM, PGPEX at least to 500 students a year. We are today doing about less than 50 students a year. So how do we get it to 500 students? How do we redesign the course? Because with virtual classrooms today, you can certainly run it more efficiently and effectively than getting everybody to come together. The second problem with the VLFM PGPX program is that we expect people to leave their jobs, borrow money or use their savings and then attend classrooms and then go start looking for jobs again, although I'm sure all of you will get jobs. But I think if industries becomes a partner and it becomes part of your on-the-job education, then companies can actually sponsor people in the company to attend these programs on a part-time basis in a modular fashion so that it's stretched out over 2 years and modules as we did with the University of Warwick program that we did with CII for many years. And I think in which case that they remain in the company, they continue to get pay, and we can attract a lot more students, and I think a lot of companies would also come forward to support this program. So I think that's one major innovation that is needed in order to scale this program up. As far as the VLFM program is concerned, we have 1,885. How do we make 10,000 MSME owner managers to be really brought up to speed in terms of modern manufacturing, quality, just-in-time manufacturing, more efficient layouts and redesign of the plants, to understand the full gamut of TQM. This is the big challenge that we have. And Sarita has been working tirelessly. We are hoping to tap into the parent companies like Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, TVS Motors, TAFE, and using that mother company, make sure we get down to the tier 2 and the tier 3. The tier 1s are typically global companies or globally competitive companies. So they really are not looking forward to a great deal of support from this program. But what we can help the tier 1s is to penetrate and deepen the engagement in TQM and just-in-time manufacturing right down to the tier 2 and tier 3, which is where the medium and really small industries exist. In India, by definition, a medium industry is 100 crores. In Europe, which is about $10 million or $15 million. In Europe, a medium industry is €1 billion. So we are looking at a very much smaller companies when we talk about medium industries. I would say less than $50 million would be a typical Indian definition. And small industries could be as small as 5 crores. So they really need help, and they need education, they need exposure to concepts, and most of all, they don't have time because the owner runs the business. He is the technologist, he is the commercial head, and he is the manufacturing head. So we need to structure these programs that it can be offline and it can be part-time so that they can come and learn and implement in the company, but yet be in the company most of the time. So this is the whole initiative that we have undertaken with the help of Mr. Amitabh Kant, who is not able to be with us today, Secretary DIPP, and working with DIPP, we have got this program with JICA, Japanese. JICA is Sarita? Japanese International Cooperation Agreement that we have. And with JICA, we have this funding for professor to come for 2 more years, along with Mr. Furuhashi, who is a Toyota production system expert. But I think our program is now to develop 5 or 7 mentors in India who can be trained. So they will do in the next 2 years, hopefully training the trainers so that we can continue these programs over the next 3 years and reach this 500 students in PGPEX and 10,000 small and medium industries in the VLFM program. So that is our vision, and I'm very confident we will achieve it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Venu Srinivasan. I would like to request Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy to give a Thank you, sir. I would like to now request our Honourable Chief Guest, the Minister for Industries and Transport. I mean, all of us understand these are the two big ministries, and we have one person handling actually two very major industries in a fairly developed state, Tamil Nadu. Mr. Thangamani is a very gentle person. In fact, you can always read the bio of him wherever you would want to, but what you wouldn't know is who he is as a person. So an academic walks up to his office and says, "We would like to have you address to the students." He immediately, without thinking twice, said that students are the future, so I will be with the students and I talk to the students no matter what. You all know the success he had in the Global Investors Meet. And he has also taken up this very seriously, that manufacturing and the state has to go a long way forward. I would like to request our Honourable Minister to address the audience.
Good morning to all. With the blessings of Honourable Chief Minister Pujari Amma, I am very happy to participate in this meet. As you all know, under the able and visionary leadership of Honourable Chief Minister Pujari Amma, Tamil Nadu is one of the first 3 states in the country on the several economic and social indicators. Today, Tamil Nadu is recognized globally as a favoured investment place with strong potential for manufacturing. As you all know, recently, under the able leadership of Honourable Chief Minister Pujari Amma, Tamil Nadu has signed 98 MOUs. Government has signed 98 MOUs, attracting 2,42,160 crores, more than 5 lakh employments. This is new record in last 20 years. This is new record in the last 20 years, and 50 MOU projects under various stages. I wish to point out that our state ranks first in terms of number of factories and industries workers, and Tamil Nadu has emerged as one of the largest hubs for production of automobiles and auto components, light and heavy engineering and fabrication, electronic hardware, engineering, textile, leather, apart from software development, IT-enabled service extra. In Tamil Nadu, there are 572 engineering colleges with an intake capacity of 2,62,164 students. 501 polytechnic with an intake capacity of 1,88,456 students. 1,552 ITS and industrial schools with an intake 1,16,551 students in Tamil Nadu. Apart from this, our arts and science college have an intake capacity of 8,50,812 students per year. This total annual turnout in Tamil Nadu exceeds 1.42 million. More particularly in Tamil Nadu, we have a lot of IT and IT's talented manpower. Therefore, today Tamil Nadu is one of the foremost knowledge states in the country. Our respected leader, Honourable Chief Minister Pujari Amma, has set vision to make Tamil Nadu #1 state among Indian states. In Tamil Nadu Vision 2023, our respected leader Amma has set goal to develop Tamil Nadu on par with upper middle income countries in Asia. Being able to share my views on the current industrial science, I hope young and able soldiers like to use dream big and help to create visionary leaders for the future. With these words, I congratulate organizers to this meet. Thank you. Nandri Vanakkam.
Sir, ellarum kai kottilla. Thank you, sir. I would like to request our It is indeed a pleasure that we could all meet this Friday morning. Manufacturing is a niche area and we have a niche audience. What is more important is that we all contribute to, build the manufacturing as it goes. And it's a very interesting stage that we have. We have industry, government, and academia. And I think that was the basis of the whole VLFM program, or the Visionary Leaders for Manufacturing program. When it started, it was about the interaction of the government, academia, and industry. We continue forward with the same thing. It's so nice of the dignitaries on the stage to take time off their busy schedule to be with the young and future leaders and the practicing leaders, to show a pathway for the future of manufacturing. With this, we will come to the conclusion of the first session of the morning. Thank you all for being here.